Hello viewers, welcome to Ac3TV. I'm Alana Debenham and I'm coming to you today from an award-winning Brisbane-based contact centre, and I'm going to be speaking to Phil McCarthy, a contact centre manager here. Now, Phil has led and managed many people across Australia and Canada over many years, and I'm looking to get some insight from him around our future leaders and some of the things that he's identified as challenges when stepping into a new leadership role. Hi Phil.
Hi Alana, how are you?
Good, thank you. How's it going?
Very well, thanks.
So I guess the purpose of today's conversation is around new and upcoming leaders. And given that you have managed people for many years, you've led people, Contact Centre Manager of the Year for the ATA, so I'm looking to get some insight. So what are some of the biggest challenges that you've identified for new and upcoming leaders?
Yes, the biggest thing is that new and upcoming leaders have a lot going on in their head.
Yep.
They're transitioning from a peer-based relationship, they're taking on a new role, they're trying to find their place in a new team, they're trying to build their confidence, trying to build the respect of a new team, and to prove their worth in a new team leader group. So they've got a lot going on in their head outside, actually doing the job. So there needs to be a lot of a focus on themselves in terms of, being confident that they've been chosen.
Yes,
to perform in that relief,
Yes.
that there's confidence from above that they have the ability to do that, that there is some opportunity for them to develop, so they're not always going to get it right up front, so they need to understand that and relax a little bit about what they're going to achieve and understand that they may make some mistakes along the way as they learn and find their feet.
Sure.
And that that it's a new team dynamic, so there's a lot of unknowns with the people that they're managing. They've got to build relationships, they've got to understand how people like to be managed, they've got to learn some leadership and management principles, and that takes a while for people to settle in. And apart from all the requirements of the role itself in terms of daily management of performance and activities and behaviours, etc. So it's a really challenging time for people. So my advice to those people would be, just relax a little bit, take a step back and
enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride.
Well,
and what a ride it can be.
Yeah, that's
hang
right.
on to your hat.
I know. And I guess only a few years ago that was probably me taking that journey, and I can completely understand. It's a difficult transition to move from being part of the team and all of a sudden now I'm I'm managing the people that previously maybe I was really good friends with, and people start to treat you a bit differently, and I think for me that was probably one of the most difficult parts of moving into a leadership role, gaining the respect and getting them to still treat me the same way. Have you found that as well?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the thing is that you're fundamentally the same person, but you're viewed a different way, and your responsibilities are different, and the terms of the relationship that you have with your peers are now different. You go from having a very intimate relationship with the people that you work with, where you may know the ins and outs and all the nitty-gritty of the people that you work with, and all of a sudden you're now leading them. So the people that you're leading may feel a little bit vulnerable in terms of, oh goodness, I've now got my manager knows all this about me, and it's a different, and you've changed, but you haven't changed as a person. Your responsibilities have changed, and your objectives have changed, but you're still the same person. You're still Alana. Yes,
that's right. So what would be maybe your top 3 tips for someone that was potentially looking at moving into a leadership role, they've decided this is definitely where I want to go? What would be some of the tips that you'd give them if for our future leaders?
Top 3 tips. It's hard to narrow it down to top 3, I guess. But
try and narrow it down.
Try and narrow it down and keep it to 1 minute. Okay. Probably being aware that there's a transitioning time to find your feet and build your confidence and settle in and understand what the requirements of the role are. But primarily the top 3 would be to understand the primary difference between leadership and management.
Yes.
And my experience is a lot of people don't quite understand what that is up front if they're new to a role. So it's about managing tasks and leading the people. So doing some research on that and understanding the differences between that. The second one would be to try and find yourself a mentor in the business or outside the business, or someone who you can bounce things off. So you're not always confident that you're doing the right thing, and it really helps if you can bounce something off someone, it's not always going to be your manager, who will hopefully will provide you some feedback and give you some guidance and leadership. But a mentor that can give you some guidance. So, you know, if your HR department or the business provides that sort of support, you know, leverage off that opportunity.
Yes,
or if you have a network outside the business, try and identify someone. And the third one I think is really important is don't forget to focus on your own self-development through the process, because you're so focused on creating the team, improving your work in the business and making your mark and showing the business that you have that ability, that we can sometimes forget to focus on what we need to develop individually.
Absolutely.
So to focus on yourself and identify the areas that you need to develop on, be open to feedback, and be really open to feedback and ask for feedback. Ask for feedback from the people you're leading, from your manager, from your peers, and do something with it.
Yes.
And you know, focus, take some time to develop yourself.
Yeah.
And you'll find that you'll settle into the role a lot quicker, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's some really great tips there, absolutely, and I hope that the viewers actually get something out of this conversation today. And I can certainly relate to everything that we've spoken about, having been a leader in recent years. So thanks very much for your time.
Excellent, you're welcome.